Hi, my name is Maria Welser. I am a theater artist based in Chicago, and today I'm going to teach you about writing the short 10-minute play. Give me a moment while I share my screen with you, and we will begin. All right, so a 10-minute play. Many of you are familiar with the 2-act play format, but a 10-minute play is actually a short 1 act that is performed within 10 minutes. It's become very popular in recent years with play festivals around the United States. So in this quick lesson, we are going to learn how to find the who, what, where, when, and why and how of your story. We're going to learn some quick dialogue tips and structure for your play. How do you actually put the story onto paper? So getting started, we need a play seedling. Most plays begin with an idea, and I like to call these play seedlings. These are seeds that can plant a play to flower and grow. And a play seedling can truly be anything. It can start off with an interesting character that you've met or created, a place that you know well or created in your imagination, a story you heard, or an idea of a story that you've made up. So the whole point of this is, do you need to make it up, or does it need to be real? It can be either. Whether you want to write about that crazy cat lady you met on the train, or the cottage you visited as a child, or a story that you read in a newspaper. It can be real, or it can be coming from your imagination. The most important part is that you have a seedling to begin a story. So, do you have an idea? Take this moment and write it down. What I decided to do is take an idea from a bagel shop that I visited with my sister in New York. And I was really interested by this bagel shop because it had steam on the windows and a line wrapping around the corner. And I thought it would be an interesting setting to begin a play. The second thing we want to learn about is the who, what, where, and when of our play. This may sound silly or even elementary, but these are the fundamentals of every story. Every story, whether it's a novel or a movie, can be broken down into the following. Who, like who is in our story, what happens in that story, and where and when does our story take place. In a play, these elements are called characters, plot, and setting. If we go back to my example, my idea of the bagel shop would be my where. Now I just need to find my who and my what. Who will be at the bagel shop and what will they be doing? So if we transfer this example to a play seed, my who will be an Uber Eats delivery driver named Benny the biker. What's going to happen? Now, Benny got a special Uber Eats delivery message asking to deliver bagels to a girl on her birthday, and Benny must deliver the bagels in record time. So now we know who the story's about and what's going to happen. Let's think about some dialogue tips before we actually begin writing our story about Benny and his bagels. So when you write, don't be afraid to write incomplete sentences or improper grammar. When we speak in day-to-day conversation, it's so rare that we speak in perfect sentences. We often talk over each other or even stop mid-sentence. So don't be afraid when you're writing to take those risks and break away from conventional grammar usage. The second thing is try not to give the character more than 3 sentences to speak at a time. Unless you're giving a speech or teaching a lesson like me, it's very rare that you're able to get in more than 3 sentences before somebody interrupts you. As a rule of thumb, keep it below 3 sentences, and if you can, make it only a single sentence. The last thing seems kind of challenging, actions before words. But dialogue is about talking, Miss Maria. Why do we want to include action? Because we see a play. How boring would it be if we had somebody describe everything that happened instead of acting it out? So when we write dialogue, it's important that that dialogue comes second to action. Use the actions of the character to show how they're feeling. Let's take this back to my play seedling example. What does good writing and bad writing look like? If we look over to our left with bad writing, we start with Benny. I am speechless. It's her birthday. Hurry up. Tony, I know you're a busy guy, and there's a line wrapped around the corner, but I need to get this order done now. I am a busy guy, and I am overwhelmed. The line stretches around the corner, and how am I going to get your order done in time? Lady, sir, how dare you cut me? I refuse this kind of treatment. The reason why the writing on the left is bad writing is because we don't see anything that happens. These characters are saying exactly what's on their mind, and they're talking forever. And it's very, very boring. If we wanted to read a book, we would read a book. If we wanted to hear someone give a speech, we'd hear them give a speech. But this is a play. We want people to play. We want them to have actions. So if we look over to our right, the example of good writing, Benny's checking his watch. He taps nervously on the kitchen counter. He paces back and forth and accidentally knocking into a lady in line. The lady pulls her purse to her chest. Excuse me. Oh, sorry. Tony, how's my order looking? Can't you see I got a line, eh? Hey, back of the line, punk. You stepped out of your spot. The reason why the dialogue on the right is good writing is that we have characters speaking in incomplete sentences. We rarely get an idea of who Tony is and who the man is that's yelling at the young punk who stepped out of line. We see the lady clutching her purse after Benny nervously knocks into her. And we know that Benny's nervous about getting the order out on time because he's checking his watch. He's tapping on the counter. He's pacing back and forth. His actions are saying more than his words. Now, if we go back to the basics of writing, how do you write? Your character name should be in all caps, and the dialogue should be written underneath or next to the character name. Actions can be put in parentheses or italics. So if we take a look at the script Beauty and the Beast, we see that everything Belle sings or speaks is below her name, and her name is in all caps. That's how we know that Belle is speaking. We also know where the baker's speaking because his name is above his dialogue. If you look down below, interrupting an action that the baker does is put in parentheses, as well as the way Belle says never mind and continues on her way is in italics. We use italics or parentheses to show action. We're going to go back to our Zoom. That was really quick, but I hope you get a gist of what the 10-minute play looks like, as well as some fundamentals. The first thing you got to figure out is the who, the what, the when, and where. Plant that seed for your play and fill in the gaps. The second thing you want to do is follow those dialogue tips. Actions before words. Don't put in too many sentences, and don't be afraid to include improper grammar. And the last thing you want to make sure is how do you write your play? If you ever get confused, take a look online. There's a lot of examples on Google for standard play format. Until next time, I'm Maria Welser, and it's been real.
Mama, who boy?